Okay, we are discussing a topic about our accounts payable and also as accounts payable configuration process. In accounts payable, we completed our accounts payable baseline configuration. After that, we are testing the configuration, whatever we have done, whether all the configuration is fine or not. As part of the testing, what we have done, we have already completed certain activities like creating some master data. And whenever we talk about the data flow in SAP, right? First thing what we do, we gather the inputs from business, then we will complete all the master data configuration first. Then you go with your creation of master data. Once you complete the configuration of this, see, these are all your configuration steps. For me to configure this, there should be some ways. What are the numbers to use, all these things, depending on how many groups I wanted to create, all this depending on your business. Business will provide you all these inputs. That is where we gathered all the inputs. We understood from the business that what and all we require. So we understood we need these many vendors. Then we went ahead and started our configuration. These are my configuration steps that we completed first. Then comes the next thing. You need to complete cutover activities. Maybe the closely consultants has to involve in a cutover activities. After that, these are like your business activities. Business also can perform, but generally cutover data until configuration and cutover is a consultant responsible. Business cannot do it without consultant involvement. But here, master data, transactional reporting, business can take care. That this is their regular activities. Now, as part of that, we have already created some master data here to understand how to create a business partner and a GL accounts, both that we created. So we know how to create business partner. First, we create a business partner and extend that as a vendor. Whenever you wanted to work with a business partner concept, make sure you remember these roles. I don't say by heart, but make sure you can remember this. When you prepare or practice 2 to 3 times, you will remember this. No, you no need to by heart as well. Okay. So that will become very much familiar to you, all these roles with the description. Now you create a PP and extend that as a finance vendor. That's what we did in a previous classes as well. And now we know how to create my vendor at this moment. Now I know how to create a business partner. And we also posted certain transactions. After the master data, we posted some transactions, which is my invoice I posted. We will post some more invoices. We'll post some credit memos. We'll also post certain payments to understand this topic very clear. That's a part of our testing, which will give you some basic understanding. Whenever your business users are using the system, they are also going to perform the same things. By doing this testing, you will understand first thing, all the configuration that we have done is perfectly fine. Okay. So after that, you can relax and say that my system is ready. Whatever you are expecting, it is ready. But beyond that, there can be a few errors or a few issues whatever business users will face. That's a quite common in any business. So what happens whenever the system go live happens, your SAP, or whatever the project you call project go live happen, we hand over the system to the business. Then they will look for another company or the same company to provide continuous support. That you call it as AMC support. Okay. So application management support. So AMS support, where you will get that AMS support and the continuous support, like you are fixing the issues and also providing any support required for them to make any customizations, ongoing developments, maybe the small changes as and when the business has some new requirement, they might need a help from the consultants to update all these things. Okay. So all those will be part of your support project that you call it as AMS. In AMS project, we are going to deal with all these things even after the go live. For that, maybe we are going to test now and make sure system is ready for a go live now. For that reason, we have already done master data and we have done certain transactions. We'll do some more transactions today and we will see the reporting one more time. Though we have tried some reporting yesterday, but still we will run some more reports and we will understand clearly. And after that, and we will see all these transactions, right? And we can say that I'm able to test from various perspectives and system is working fine as expected. Then I'll call it as my go live. We'll release this for a production. So that's the flow which happens. And we will also touch base some other very important topic along with this, which is open item management. Whenever you are posting some transactions to your accounts, so always you will see open items or a non-open item. What is that all about? We will understand. Okay, let us get continue with this. Yesterday we were able to post certain invoices. Let us run the report once again and check our reports and see what is available. Let's say whenever I wanted to run my vendor line item report, FBL1. This is how, if you remember the transaction code, you can go for it. But is it a configuration activity or is it a business activity? The running a report, FBL1.
Business
Business
activity.
Okay.
activity.
If it is a business activity, generally, if you go to SAP Easy Access screen, the home screen, and the first screen, you will find SAP menu. All your business activities are listed here. Okay, now let me show you. Your business users will not have access to SPRO part. As all of us has SPRO access here. If you go to this SPRO menu, which is going to help you to configure the system. All these nodes, your business user will not have access. Generally, we don't give them an access. Though if they try to enter SPRO transaction code, it says you are not authorized. Okay. But they will have by default this easy access screen. In that, they will see this SAP menu. They might have some more folders here, depending on organization, but these are the default things. Now, if I go with accounting, you will find all financial accounting and accounts payable related here. Currently, we are talking about accounts payable. These are the things they will have an access. If you go with a document entry, you see various invoice entries or various vendor related transactions you can perform under document entry. And also you have parking, how to park, how to work with the parking documents. Make sure you practice all these things one by one. So it is, once you double click it, everything is saved. You just fill the details and save it and see what happens. Documents will get parked here. It is not saying post. Though you save, it will become park. Now, after parking, what am I supposed to do? So you will find this option. Let's say, let me come back. So you will find, so you see multiple things here. After parking, so you can also edit this parked documents. So those are the other options you can see. If you want to post some down payment request for your vendor, you are paying some down payment. All of us familiar with the down payment. Whenever we want to purchase some item, then your vendor might expect how much you are paying down payment now. The rest you can go for a loan, either credit card loan, your bank loan, or whatever the loans. Right? All those down payments we can handle here. How to handle the down payments? Try to understand that. And bill of exchange, that's okay. It is a different method at this moment, but fine. That's a bill of exchange. But at least you try with this document entry and document parking related. And then you will find something, let's say this others also you try incoming payment. So if you are receiving some payment from a vendor, and something like without clearing, with clearing. So just give a try, how much ever you can understand. You try to post it and see whatever the questions you have it. Okay. And then most important thing here, you'll see when I collapse document entry, you will find something called information system. So under information system, you can see various reports here. So you see reports for accounts payable, vendor balances. Now I wanted to know vendor balances. These are the transactions. You go with this transaction, which will give you the balances of it. If you wanted to know line item, go with this list of vendor line items. So open items, if you want to know all open items, something like that, right? So there are multiple reports. You just need to open the report and fill the parameters like a vendor account, company code, whether you wanted to know open items, cleared items, or all items, select accordingly and try to execute. Now I wanted to know this vendor line items. Let's say, for example, in my company code 9400, whatever the suppliers I have it. If I leave blank, which is applicable for all suppliers, generally, if there are more supplier count vendor accounts, it will take more time if there are more transactions. If it is a very less transactions, the report can be quick. Depending on number of transactions and vendors, the report timing depends. Okay. Always keep that in mind. Based on that, you give a further filter. If you think you hardly have very few transactions, let's say 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 transactions and overall in this company code, then that is okay. And your purpose is also to know all the vendors items in this company code, then no other go. You can't filter it out. In that case, if you believe that it is a huge data that you are expecting, so whenever you run such reports, the huge reports, system will not handle in front end. So it might get into ABAP runtime error. Have you guys seen those who using SAP in your roles? Have you seen ABAP runtime error or dump errors? When it is running for a long time, you might get timeout error, runtime error. To avoid that, the technique is always run in a background. You see, there are two options. When I execute, this will execute in a front end, okay, or foreground. And when there is another option, which is a background. If you wanted to run in a background, click on this background option, which is like it will schedule a job. Output device, it is a default LP01. In any project, LP01 is a common standard printer name that we will use as an output device. This is to generate into your soft copy. If you want a print, then you are going to use a real-time printer, whatever has been connected in it. So continue. And formatting set to so and so. Fine, continue. Now it is asking when you want it to run. Do you want to run immediately or do you want to run after, let's say, in our business requirement, all my business users will post invoices until today evening. After they post, I wanted to run the report and see my vendor balances. I can't log in again in the evening. I started working from morning 9 o'clock. I'm logging out at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening. After that, there are some more employees who are logging in a second shift. They are working in the late night. So we are reaching to the month end. Today is the 30th. Tomorrow is the last day of the month. Tomorrow, let's assume that 31st, I'm working as a month end. I wanted to generate month-end report. Month-end report always you need to consider until the last invoice. When you generate, after that, if some more invoices get posted, there is no point you take that report. Again, you need to run the same report and you take the variances, which is unnecessary double work. In that case, you clearly know that you inform everybody and tell them to stop processing invoices, whatever they receive, until tomorrow evening, let's say 31st. 31st July is the last day in my calendar for the July month. July 31st, midnight, 12 o'clock. Until then, they can use it. Whenever clock changes to 12 in the midnight of 31st, which is going to change your calendar to 1st August, correct? So from there on, nobody can post into 31st dated invoices. So it will automatically shift to here. Now what I'm going to do, until 31st night, whatever the invoices has been posted, I wanted to include in my report. In that case, what I will do, instead of immediately running report, if I say immediate, it will start running the report in a backend from this second. When I select date and time, it is going to set the scheduled start and date. You just like you set an alarm for next 4 hours. After 4 hours, alarm will ring. Similarly, what I'll do, I'll select, let's say, the 1st of August. Sorry, not January. It is August, 1st of August. And time I will select 00. Whenever I go with this format, let's say here I select 0. All zeros you just need to pick it, which is like midnight, 12 o'clock. It starts with. So after everyone post and for the 31st, after that I'm going to start this. 00 is 12. In case you wanted to start after 1 or 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you set accordingly. Or if you wanted to start like 1st of August morning, 9 o'clock, you change that accordingly, 9 o'clock. This currently is in a 24 hours format. Accordingly, you set it. This is what your start schedule. And you continue. And if you have any different time zone, currently it is using CAT. You need to understand what is CAT time zone and which time zone you are setting. You might assume that midnight, 12 o'clock as per India or as per US. So that is your time zone, system zone, CAT. Now it is taking based on my system data. Generally, it will set as per the server time, not your computer time. Where your server is located, that is most important. If my server is located in India, this system will read the time accordingly. If my server is located in UK, this is going to read the time as per UK time zone. If it is in Africa, as per Africa. If it is in Singapore, as per Singapore. That is important. And if you wanted to run this every month, the same pattern, you are going to make it as a periodic job. If your requirement is to run only for a one time, this time I just is more than enough. Then you don't need to select periodic job. That is with your date and time and immediate. Or if you have another requirement, you might had run various reports. Let's say first you wanted to see all vendor line items. Then you might wanted to run the payment program. And you wanted to run certain programs in a sequence. Only after posting all the invoices, I wanted to pick payment program. After that, I wanted to do reconciliation program, something like that. You need to decide which one to run first in a sequential order. In that case, you go with after job. If you have any preference like that, you wanted to run this particular job after so and so program, then you mention what is that program that you wanted to complete before you start this. Before making payment, I want to make sure all the invoices are posted. Now I need to provide that invoice posting program here. If there is something has been scheduled, something like that. Okay. So at this moment, I don't have any preference as such. I'll go as usual. I'll go with the date and time. I don't have any after job. And similarly, after event. Event is like there are certain events that we schedule in a backend. So after this event, this has to trigger. Just like your after job, after event is another thing. So these are the important things that you need to be aware when to use what. When though you see multiple tabs here, how to use them, we should become familiar. So though we are not discussing everything, slowly whenever you get a time, you need to start understanding what is immediate means, what is date and time means, how it works. All that you need to be in a position to experiment. Yes, slowly start experiment. Okay, now I have entered the date 1st of August midnight hours, and first check. System will validate and confirm the formats whatever you entered. The parameters, is it okay or not? If I enter a past date here, for example, let me say 2024 by mistake. System has to stop me. Past date, you can't schedule any job. Let me try to check. What is it saying? Start date is in the past, which means it is not allowed, which is an error. This is an error message clearly. Now what you need to make sure, system will validate all these things in back. If you give here, let's say, for example, let me go with here. Let's say if I enter 99, is there anything like 99 hours in our clock corner? No, right? No 99 hours. So check has to detect and tell me that. Is it giving me the right message here? Right? This is what the check usage is. Directly, if you go ahead with a save, it might save, but it will not throw you the errors. That is where you will face later problems. Before you save, wherever the check is available, make sure you use the check button. Unless you are very much sure, right? You are pretty sure everything is okay, only then you can go ahead. Whenever you are doing in a hurry, still try to click on a check once. System will do a quick validation in a backend and will confirm. So whether it is okay or not. Now I'm changing this to 00 and say check. Everything is okay. If everything is okay, it don't even give you anything. We are still good. And say save. Now it says background Java schedule for program, so and so. Now, if you log out also, nothing will happen. Automatically, system will bring this. System will automatically prepare the report and keep it ready. Now, if I want to see this, let's say that, let me go to SN37, where you can see all the jobs which have been already scheduled. Now, if you look into this, what is the program name? The job name, RFKEPL00. That is the job name that you can enter here. Or with your username, put the star and say scheduled, released, ready, active, finished, cancelled, all these you selected. Job start and end dates you update it here. Currently, I have scheduled for a future date. So when I schedule for a future date, in general, is the report ready or not yet ready? If I go and check to see the report values, is it ready or not yet ready, the report? As it is a future date, there is nothing is not yet ready because it takes some more time, because it is going to start the report itself by 31st midnight, not today. Okay. Or the 1st of August midnights, whenever the clock starts at 1st August. Until then, you can't even see this report. This is how you can just schedule it, and you enter your job name, the same job name here, and with your username, and select all these options and say execute, which will show you all the programs if there is something. Now, for you to understand what I'll do, I'll schedule one more with current time. Let's say LP01. Continue. Continue. Here I will say next time immediate. Instead of date and time, I will say immediate. It will start immediately. It says immediate start and check continue. That's it. Now it has been scheduled. Okay. Now let me go here and execute. Now you are able to see some program here. Job name. This job name is picking here. RFKEPL00. This is how you schedule a job. When you schedule a job in a backend, so it will give you all these details. The status is most important for you to observe. Whenever you get into the screen, SM37, observe the status, whether it is still showing as a schedule, running, error, in progress, or finished. If it is a finished, only then your report is ready. Then you click on this pool. When you click on this pool list, you will get this graph list. Here you can see all these details. You see Ramesh Yadav account. We have only one vendor account, this many line item. Maybe the format slightly looks different here, but still you can download this and make other changes. Whenever you make background ups, reports format may be slightly different, but all the values, all the fields, whatever you need, you can get that. Okay, this is the one thing how you will work it. Now let me go with normal report running. Let's say FBL1N. In FBL1N, now I just wanted to know in my company code 9400 all the vendors with, let's say, all items and execute. Now at this moment, I could see there are two invoices posted. One invoice for a 10 lakh rupees or 1 million. The another invoice for 2,400 rupees. Okay. Now I wanted to make a payment against this. So this is what we see here. Whenever I look into this, I have posted an invoice. I wanted to make certain payment, vendor payment. Or let's say that out of this, whatever I have, this 10 lakhs, the 1 lakh I wanted to return. Out of 10 tons, 110 I wanted to return to my vendor because of various issues. I don't want that 1 ton material. There is some defect in that, or the quality is not met as per our standards. Now, whenever you are returning this 1 lakh worth of products, you need to raise a credit memo. How do you raise a credit memo? Let's understand that. So let me keep this screen as it is so that we can simply refresh next time. So let me go back here. And whenever I wanted to raise a credit memo, go to your document entry and you will see credit memo here. There are two things, credit memo general, credit memo as well. So let's go with FB65 and see what information you see here. So you can change from credit memo to invoice, invoice to credit memo, in case you wanted to switch between both. So currently I wanted to process credit memo. Most important thing is the company code. The company code got changed here. So let me switch to my company code first. 9400. 9400 is my company code. Continue. It is a credit memo. The supplier, I wanted to use the same supplier. To whomever I wanted to return the goods, I wanted to record to the same person. I purchased from Ramesh Yadav earlier. I wanted to return the products to Ramesh Yadav only. If I give return to someone else, that is not a right method, right? So that mistake might also happen from users. So we need to understand later how to correct them. For now, let's see. how to raise a credit memo. 14,300 is Ramesh account number. Okay, fine. Document date as on today. And let's say CR, which is a credit, so RCM, which is a credit memo. And let's say the invoice number, if I have anything here. Have I given any reference number? Let me see that. If I go with a overview, where you can see this invoice number 001. So CM F1 invoice 001. I'm raising a credit memo against this invoice number. That is just a clue for myself. How much I am returning? 1 lakh. Okay. Your text, you can also say that 1 ton return. Make it a simple term for further understanding purpose. Now, understand this. What is the journal entry supposed to be? In case you wanted to test this credit memo, you need to know the original journal entry as well. Now, let me go back here and see what is the entry that originally recorded. If it is a credit memo, what is supposed to be?
Ramesh account here to purchase account.
It has to be reverse. The reverse Ramesh account has to reverse. Now, let's say Ramesh has to debit and your purchases
Credit.
has to credit. This we need to understand with one line. Okay? Without confusion, we should understand this. This is my standard expectation. Whenever I'm entering journal entry here, I don't have debit and credit in this section, but still supplier account I entered. Supplier I'm expecting, which is my Ramesh Yadav, as a debit entry. Now this FB65 by default consider this top level section as your debit, and whatever you are entering here supposed to be credit. Now I need to understand my credit, which account which was credited, which is a purchases account, which is 100,202. Now you need to enter the same account. If you enter different account, that respective account balance will have a incorrect impact. Now you need to make sure if there is such mistakes happens, instead of putting to purchases account, I put to different account, then what happens? Generally what happens, there might be purchase returns account separately we create. In case the returns account is available, you update in returns account, where returns account is going to hit to your purchases account later. That is another reconciliation account which we will maintain. For now, just assume that you are putting to the purchases account only in an opposite side, which means earlier I debited my purchases account. Now I am going to credit. Earlier I debited, now I wanted to credit. Now let's say the same thing. Here I'm choosing a credit by default. The sign for a credit here is a H. Debit is S. Wherever you see H and S in certain reports for a debit and credit indicator, you need to understand this way. Now how much I'm returning? The same amount. Okay. Now here profit center and cost center is also something that you need to understand. We have already seen yesterday the profit center and cost center. Let us understand one more concept along with that. Maybe it's a right situation for you to understand. Along with this, also understand something called document splitting concept. Under document splitting, we already know that there is active, passive, and zero balancing. These are the three types we have it. So this is what we understood. So let me bring this example one more time here, so that you will understand. The same thing practically I'll show you now how it works, the document splitting concept. So this is a very important concept in your projects and also in our interviews. In any interview that you go, without document splitting interview question, your interview will not end. Make sure you become familiar without any confusion. What is document splitting? How it is working in a background. Okay, so I'll show you practically here as well. Let's say there are three types of document splitting that we are talking about. Whenever I talk about three types of document splitting, one is your active document splitting, second one is a passive document splitting, and third one is a zero balancing. So first one is your active document splitting. Whenever we are posting our original invoices, system will expect mandatorily to enter profit center or a cost center. In short, I would say account assignment. Without entering account assignments, system will not allow you to proceed. That is another error which we have seen yesterday also. You see balancing field, profit center in line item 001 not filled. So this is a part of your document splitting. This is what I also explained yesterday. So document splitting, if it is activated at a profit center level or a segment level or a business area level, system will expect you to enter this account assignments. Without that, it will not even allow you to post it. You need to enter profit centers. Let's assume that yesterday we entered one profit center here. Where is that profit? I think we can see that directly here in the entry. So let me go here. At this moment, I can't see here, but what you can do, go to GL view, where you will be able to see. Okay, I need to add whenever you can't see them. So directly, let's say that, let me add change layout, add your profit center here. Maybe let me search for a profit center. Currently, it is not available in the view. What I'm going to do, partner profit center, there's a profit center, the second one. So if you want to add in between somewhere here, let's say after currency, I want, just select this after currency and say add. This profit center will move this side and you continue. Now you can see the profit center here. Now I made this layout. What I will do, I'll save this layout so that in future I can use this layout by default. Now whatever the changes I did, that is called a layout. I brought a profit center into my layout. Earlier in my layout, the profit center field was not there, right? So now let me add this save layout. And let's say maybe I'll put it as Tata Steel already there. Maybe let me try to select this Tata Steel. I don't know whether it is already there. As I have already made changes, let me save with a different name at least. I don't want to lose this 9400 for now. Okay. So now let's say if I go back, entry view and general ledger view. Okay, entry view also I'm able to see the profit center now. Now this is the entry view, whatever we have entered. We posted, let's say, purchases account data to Ramesh Yadav account. This is the journal entry originally that we posted. While posting, it was expecting for a purchases account mandatorily to enter profit center. Without this, it didn't allow. This is called your active document splitting. Whenever you are trying to post any document, system mandatorily asks you to enter account assignments. When I say account assignment, it can be profit center, or it can be cost center, or it can be internal order, or it can be WPS element. There are multiple things. Okay. It will ask you to enter account assignments this way. This will give you an error message to enter the respective account assignment. Now you enter this. You entered in only one line. This is a very much evident and clear. When you entered in a document, you entered only for a purchases account, but you didn't enter profit center for Ramesh Yadav because this option is not available here. When you see at the top level section, there is no profit center option. There is no cost center option. You can go and search also later, but still you don't find it. All the tabs you find it, you don't find anywhere the profit center or a cost center. You don't have that option at all. Now you are entering that profit center here at the line item level. When you enter this line item, this line will become baseline. So now in this case, the purchases account line is a baseline because in this line you have entered a profit center. Okay. So based on a baseline account assignments, offsetting line, this line we call it as an offsetting line. So this line will automatically take this profit center from here. This is called inheritance. Inheritance means it is taking or automatically copying from baseline. The characteristics, whatever has been defined and whatever the data that we updated in our baseline, same characteristics for a document splitting will apply for baseline also. Based on a baseline, other offsetting line will take the same profit center or a cost center. In short, the account assignments. Now, for me to verify and prove that, go to GL view. When I go to GL view, you will find the same profit center in both debit and credit. Though I have not entered in a credit line here in this example, I still can see that here. In GL view, this is how it is reflected. GL view, it is reflecting in both debit and credit. Now my purchases account is getting debited, but here instead of vendor account, it is crediting to AP reconciliation account. Again, we know that how this reconciliation account is picking based on my vendor master data. So that is different thing, but what we are understanding, system will automatically bring this profit center based on the baseline. Baseline has to enter first, then offsetting line will determine automatically. This is called your This is called your active document splitting. If you understand this, active document splitting, where you need to enter manually. So this is the active document splitting. Now this is when you enter invoice. The second thing is, and as a part of document splitting, which is a passive splitting. So now still I'm trying to post a credit memo here. This is not part of a passive splitting example, but let's understand one more example. So after posting this credit memo, let me quickly post. This is also a perfect example for you as active document splitting. Okay. So now just a second. Let's say that I'm trying to post a credit memo, which is a part of your active document splitting technique. Now I have not yet entered profit center and try to post it or simulate it. You will see that error. Okay. Try to simulate and debit and credit looks okay. So now debit line item is Ramesh Yadav. This is what you are expecting here. Let me go here. First, to verify your journal entry, what we are trying to post. I think where is this? Here, the Ramesh Yadav account. Let me put this side. You can also confirm the debit and credits. Is it exactly the same? This is what I'm expecting. Ramesh account getting debited with 1 lakh. Purchases account getting credited with 1 lakh. Minus. Okay. When I try to post this, it will not happen. It will throw an error. That is for your account assignments. What is account assignments required here? So particularly as a part of document splitting characteristics, we have already activated document splitting for our company code. System will expect count assignments. So I have not yet entered at this moment. So I'm expecting an error. Let's say that this is part of testing. Do we see that balancing field profit center in line item 001 not filled? Right. This is what as a part of document splitting. So whether it is an active, passive, or whatever, still system is expecting a document splitting here. Sorry, okay. Now we need to make sure we need to enter the profit center or a cost center, whatever is applicable here. Let's say if I want to see, the message is very much clear. You don't need to be confused what to enter. It is saying balancing field profit center in line item 1 is not filled. First line item is this one from this ones, whatever the section you have here. So you need to enter profit center. Once you enter a profit center here, let's press enter once. Message will go away and will allow you to enter one more time. Let me select one of my profit centers. Let's press enter once. It will simulate automatically in the backend. Now when you try to post it, it will automatically post it now without any error. So that is what you need to understand. Credit memo document number range, it is generating in 17. If you look into our number ranges that we generated yesterday, credit memo expecting in which number series? Is this correct? Is it as per my requirement?
Yes.
This is the another understanding we need to have. Why it is generating 17 series? Everybody will show you document saved. That is okay. This is a very common thing that you see, but you need to understand the logic. Why it is generating 17 series? Why not 19 series? Why not 15 series? Right? Because for a credit memo document type KR, right? Sorry. KR. KG is your what? KR is invoice. KG is your credit memo, right? KG is what? For a KG, 17 is the number range that is assigned. For a 17 in my company code, I have given this number ranges. That's the reason system is generating. In case your business is requesting, I want all my credit memos in 18 series. I don't want 17 series. How am I going to do it? So that specific things we'll discuss particularly to one company code. But in general, if you have only one company code, for example, you directly go to your document types. There you change this. Let me show you that. Let's say OBA7. You go to OBA7 here. Though it is a lot, that's still okay. Continue. Here, let's say, for example, I'll go with KG now. Credit memo, the vendor credit memo, my business is expecting, I don't want 17 series. I want 19 series. Either you can change the number range here. This is not going to directly impact, but what you can do, directly go to FBM1. Instead of changing here, this is not a right method of changing it. because that is a client level. So you wanted to make changes to only your company code, not at a client level. If you want to make changes to the client level, you use this option, OBA7, which is applicable for all the company codes. But the requirement now is for only one company code, that is for 9400. In that case, go to your FBN1 and change intervals here. Here, you can change that. This you can do it only before you post first entry. Currently, I have posted one first entry already here. Now I can't change this beginning series. If you wanted to extend this as a 1.8 series, you can do that. But you can't change the beginning series. Subsequent documents are going to post in 1.7 series only until it exhausts this complete series. Once it become all 9s here, then it will switch to 1.8. But from the first document, if you need to stop using this and you need to add one more. With anything else, it can be maybe, let's say, ZZ also you can enter 2025 and say 1.8 series here. When you enter 1.8 series here, this you need to assign ZZ in your respective document type here. So here you need to change, instead of 17, you make it as a ZZ. That is the another option. Once you post any documents here, you don't have a choice to edit. That is very much practically evident here. You can also see it is grayed out. Before posting documents, let's say 15, I have not yet posted anything. See, is it editable or not? Which is in a white, where I can edit. Anything that you want to do it, you can do it. It is allowing. If I want to try to delete, it will not allow, which is a grayed out, which is not happening. You can also practically experiment how to change document number ranges before posting a document, after posting a document. Okay. So now, anyway, so I understand document has been posted here. Now I have seen in a 1.7 series, and that is part of my credit memo, whatever I supposed to post. Now, if I go back here again to understand that concept, that is also part of your active document splitting. Now the passive document splitting comes into picture when particularly, let's say, next time I'm not going to enter profit center or any account assignments either in a debit line or in a credit line. I'll show you very clearly. System won't even ask me to enter account assignments in either of the line. Why system won't ask me, though I have activated document splitting? It's because of certain nature of transactions, whatever we are posting, there it will not expect anything. So now let's understand those nature of transactions. So far I entered invoice and credit memo. In both the places, it is asking for this, the account assignments, yes or no? While I'm entering invoice and credit memo, did it ask me to enter profit center?
Yes.
Now, continue in the same flow of scenario what we are talking. I'm able to post one credit memo. I'm comfortable now. So let's say I'm able to complete this as well. So let's say now I wanted to make a vendor payment. Now let's understand vendor payment. When do we make vendor payments generally? Whenever you purchase something and it is due for a payment, right? Assume that whatever you purchased for material, you purchased for a 10 lakh material and you returned 1 lakh. What is my total balance supposed to be for a Ramesh that I need to pay?
9 lakhs.
Maybe let me change here, instead of 555 Ra, I think we change this to Ramesh. It's supposed to be 9 lakhs. I need to make sure this 9 lakhs is reflecting in Ramesh account. Now let me go to this balance report. Here, Ramesh account currently showing how much? Maybe the 2,400 is additional invoice. Out of this 10 lakhs, 2,400, keep that aside. You can see that as it is. Out of 10 lakhs, 1 lakh has been returned. So far, I see KR, which is an invoice document type. There should be a KG document for a credit memo. I'm expecting that. Let's say go to list and refresh. You will find 3 line items. So far, I have 2 line items. When I refresh, I get a credit memo as a 3rd line item. Do I see that 1.7 series document KG here with a 1 lakh 1 ton return? My balance reduced. My total liability reduced to 9 lakh 2,400. Earlier it was a 10 lakh 2,400. Now it reduced to 1 lakh, additional 1 lakh reduced. right? Now, my total outstanding balance for this supplier is 9 lakhs. So 9,02,400. Now, let me show you. Let's say that I'm going to make a payment for this 2,400. Let me open this and show you what is the profit center and cost center for this. So profit center is already there here, Tata PC001. When I go with the GL view also, for both the lines, it is already there, which is purchases account and one of the expense account. Let's say that I posted one rent for this same vendor. This vendor, I need to pay rent because this vendor supplying some steel and also he has some building space where we are using their space, maybe their warehouse. We are using to store all their material. For that, we are paying a rent. So this is the rent, another liability that I created, which is an expense. So now I have to pay this rent to this vendor. Rent I just recorded as an expense, but I have not yet made a payment to the vendor. Journal entry doesn't mean that the rent you are recording as an expense, your vendor receives money, right? Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to enter a payment for this rent. Let's say, now let me put this journal entry. While entering this journal entry, what I did, let me go over this. Where is this? Whenever I'm entering, let's say here, I'll convert this, the same journal entry here, whatever we have. So let me go to entry view, whatever I have. So in an entry view, I see Ramesh account to rent account. So sorry, rent account debit to Ramesh account. Okay, instead of purchases, can I say this as a rent account to instead of vendor, I'll say Ramesh account. And let me put only Ramesh. Is this okay? 2,400 is the rent minus 2,400. This is my rent. My profit center used for this is the one. So I used this profit center only in my debit line item, not in a credit line item. Let's say in a debit line item I'm using. Okay, I think it is taking everything. Okay, let me enter manually. Tata underscore PC 001. Tata underscore PC 001. I entered this in this line. Automatically system also considered in my credit line item because of the active document splitting characteristics. Everybody understood this, right? So how system is taking in offsetting line from baseline. In this case, debit is my baseline. Okay. This is offsetting line. Okay. From baseline, it is considering automatically the same profit center or a cost center. Now, whenever I wanted to make a payment during the payment, particularly what happens, let's say in this case, the rent I wanted to make a payment to the Ramesh, I need to make a payment towards the rent. Now, what should be the journal entry in general? What should be the journal entry here whenever I'm making a payment to Ramesh? Anybody? Quickly try to recollect the golden rules of principles, which will help you to understand the journal entry. Okay, whenever you are making a payment, think what are the accounts impacting, which will make you very easy to understand this journal entry. No confusions. It should be very simple.
Vendor account data to bank accounts here.
So we are creating the bank because credit debit card comes in, credit card goes out. In this case, cash or a bank is going out. So let's say either cash or a bank, we are saying as a credit. I already have journal entry here. So that my mistake that I didn't delete also. Still okay. Fine. So your cash or a bank you are crediting for let's say 2,400. Right? Now your debit also 2,400. But the same thing it will go to whom? To your vendor. Let's say Ramesh. Okay. Now the Ramesh account liability you created here and you are paying here, which will nullify. You don't have any balance that you're supposed to pay to your Ramesh Yadav. Correct? Now this is the journal entry that we need to understand. Fine. Now let's say Ramesh account. Here the profit center and cost center, what happens? Here we already entered profit center to Ramesh account. So let's understand this journal entry practically in system, how it looks like. Let's say that I'll keep this here and I wanted to enter journal entry. What is the payment uh, transaction code whenever I wanted to make a payment to my vendors? What is the transaction code that we use? Anybody has an idea? Whenever you are working as accounts payable specialist, you might have come across this. Fine. If you don't remember, that's okay. If you wanted to make a manual payments or automatic payment, it depends. Let's go with a manual payment only. I'm not going with automatic. We jump into automatic payment program later. For now, understand manual payments, how it happens. Let's say /n F-53. If you go to F-53, it says post outgoing payments. Post outgoing payments to whom? Generally to the vendors. Now here, observe very carefully. Am I going to enter any debit and credit at this moment? Okay. So let's say that it is saying process open items, which means I'm making a payment to the vendor, right? So let's say okay. So here document date, as usual, you enter the document date. The document type, it is saying as type KZ. What is KZ? Try to understand. Go down and see what is KZ here. If I see KZ somewhere at the little up, still up. Okay, KZ I can see here, which is vendor payment. I'm making a vendor payment. Okay, that is KZ. The company code is my company code. Currency INR. The period by default is fourth period. Now the reference, it is saying as a clearing text. Let's say, or if you wanted to enter a normal journal entry, that also can be done. What I am trying to do with F-53, it is going to clear the transaction as well. Okay, let's understand the clearing as well. That don't worry about in case you confuse with what is clearing. But let's see, I'm making a vendor payment. I supposed to make 2,400 payment to my vendor. I'm paying that to my vendor now. That's all I'm just trying to see. Okay. Now, the reference, in case you wanted to use any reference, maybe use your invoice number against what you are making a payment. Maybe INV 002 is my invoice or the original invoice that I wanted to make payment against. If I go here, the rent that I paid here is INV 002. This is the rent amount that I'm making a payment. Okay. So clearing text or a document header text like here, whatever you see, if you wanted to have, you can enter that. Let's say INV 002 payment. Same thing I'll enter in a clearing text as well. Okay. So maybe let's say clearing just for reference. That's it. Okay. So see the basic information that I entered here. Here it is expecting house bank. If I am making a payment through the bank, only then I can enter a house bank. If I'm making a payment through cash, I no need to enter bank, right? So I need to go with directly cash account. Let me go with the account. You can skip house bank. If you have a house bank that we will talk about in automatic payment program, at this moment, skip bank related transactions. Go with a cash payment. TOCA is my chart of accounts. Let me go with a cash account. Cash account for Tata Steel. Let me select cash account. This is my cash account. This is my GL account number. The amount I am making a payment 2,400. Now here the text, maybe you enter the same thing like one INV 002 payment. Now account, the open item selection. So this account is your vendor account. Account type K means what? We have heard about document account types ADKMS. Remember, or still you wanted to see the list? See this list ADKMS. Without miss, we need to remember this. What is A means, what is D means, what is K means. What is M, what is S means. This is your account types, ADKMS. Okay. Now in this case, the K means suppliers. By default, in F-53, it gives you K. By default, you should be able to recollect. K means it is vendor has been selected. Now from vendors, what is my vendor account number? You can see that here. My vendor Ramesh account number is 14300. That is what you need to enter. Or you can also search from whenever you go and search with your company code here, you will find your Ramesh account here. The Ramesh account is here, which is 14300. Same thing. Either you can enter manually, or if you don't remember, go and search for it. Nobody will expect you to remember all these account numbers. That is okay. You're still in a position to enter. Now you selected this basic information. Now right side you see additional selection. This additional selection, just remember this additional selection. There is a specific name to this. Whenever we talk about bank reconciliation, we'll come back to this one more time, which we call it as algorithm. That algorithm, this is called algorithm whenever you are preparing bank reconciliations. For a PRS setup. For a PRS setup, we talk about algorithm. I'll explain you one more time clearly how algorithm works, what is the algorithm that we need to remember. Now at this moment, I have my account, and based on this algorithm, I am going to proceed. At this case, I can say none, or if I know I wanted to go particularly by a document number, let's say I wanted to clear this particular document number, then I will choose this document number. Or if I wanted to go with posting date, let's say whatever the transactions posted on the 29, then I'll go with this particular date here. If I know some date, or if I know some particular document number which I wanted to make a payment against, then I can go with that. Otherwise, I wanted to see whatever is all available, and I'll choose from that list. I'll go with a none and show you first thing. Next time, whenever you are experimenting, you can try with various other options. Or in our upcoming classes also, we will use various other options. At this moment, I'm going ahead with none. So, okay, now I entered this many details. So far, did I enter anywhere debit and credit indicator? Which account is going to debit, which account is going to credit? Did I specify anywhere particularly with any sort of indication? Either a posting key or a debit and credit indicator like a H or a S. Did I mention or not? So far, whatever the details I entered, whatever I explained to you, did I explain anywhere about posting key particularly? No posting key that we discussed. No debit and credit indicator that we discussed. Now this is the another logic which you need to remember. How system is determining which account to debit, which account to credit. That's the first thing. And other thing, did I also enter anywhere account assignments like a profit center, cost center, segment, WBS, internal order? So far,
Yes.
in this screen, in F-53, do we enter anywhere profit center, cost center? No. I have not yet chosen any profit center and cost center. Now, understand this logic as a part of your passive document splitting. This is what we are understanding. So we are understanding now passive document splitting. This passive document splitting happens. There is no reason why I'm choosing a different color for this. So don't ask me why yellow for that, why orange for this. I just wanted to make it different from one to other. So I'm making it. Now this is my passive document splitting. Okay, just for you to remember. So I'm just putting it here, or I'll make this way, which is more easy for you to see. Okay, this is going to be a zero balancing. We'll come back to zero balancing later. For now, understand your active document splitting, how it is happening, your other document splitting techniques. Okay, so okay, let me put this way. Currently, we are talking about passive document splitting. So how passive document splitting takes place in system automatically. This is what we need to understand. As a part of passive document splitting, I'm expecting system to bring the profit center and cost center or whatever I have entered in system already automatically. I don't want to define that. Here, in this case, I'm not going to define either in a debit or a credit. For example, let me put this way. So far, I have not entered. This is the thing that I entered. I entered Ramesh account details here. I entered cash account details here. That's it. I entered the amount. I have not entered anywhere account assignments. Is this correct? right? I have not entered anywhere cost center or a profit center. Go ahead with process open items. When I go ahead with the process open items, here you see 3 line items. Why I'm getting 3 line items? If I go and see here my vendor account balance, I see 3 line items here. There is a 1 lakh item, there is a 10 lakhs item, and there is a 2,400 item. Which one you wanted to make a payment? Currently it says 9 lakh 2,400. But currently I have only check of 2,400 what I can make a payment to the vendor. Vendor asked me to clear this 2,400 urgently. They need this 2,400. So they requested. So I'm sending this payment to the vendor. So for that reason, what I need to see, if you see this amount entered 2,400, this is the amount that I entered in a previous screen. This is assume that this is the cash that I'm making a payment to my vendor. And assigned is nothing but this many invoices has been assigned to make a payment by default. What we will do? So the difference is not assigned. 9 lakhs is a shortage. You don't have a 9 lakhs cash, excess cash in your hand to make a payment. That's what it is saying. Okay, fine. For that, what I will do, I will not include this 10 lakhs and this return of 1 lakh. These two I wanted to exclude. I wanted to include only these two. Currently, observe the color of this text. Which color it is in? Depending on whatever you see, unless you are in a black and white system, I don't know. But which color you see this?
Red.
Red color or brown color, whatever, right? This one not assigned is in
Blue.
blue. When I double click on this, observe the color change, what happens. This is very much important in the screen. Now I don't want to include 1 lakh. Double click on that. Now what happened? It has increased assigned balance. Okay, when I double click on this is again now reduced to 2,400. Now only 2,400 is in a red color or a brown color, right? The rest two are in a black color. They have converted into black color. Now not assigned has become 0. Assigned has become 2,400 and the amount entered in a previous screen is 2,000. Is it becoming total 0, debit and credit? I mean total 2,400 supposed to make a payment and it has been assigned. Now you can see that in a different color. Without confusion, you should be able to select the line items accordingly. For example, if it is something like this, you need to understand what is wrong. Sir, it is showing 97,600. I don't know from where it is calculating. This is the difference between this 2,400 and 1 lakh that you selected together. So try to see this combination, see the color coding, how it is, so that you will understand. If you look into not assigned, it will make sense. Looks like 1 lakh is additionally selected, which I don't want to make payment now, or I don't have that much cash to make a payment now. So I will remove this 1 lakh from the payment. This is what you need to understand. Okay, now I selected 2,400 only because I'm making only 2,400. In a standard screen, anywhere again, have I entered anywhere the profit center manually? So far, no profit center, only amount is what I selected. If I go with a partial, nothing in a partial, and residual, nothing, withholding tax, nothing. So nowhere I have that options. So if I go to standard again, I'm going with a standard screen at this moment. Go with a standard tab. Later we will understand what is partial payment, what is residual items. At this moment, only standard. Now let's say 2,400 is what I'm making a payment. I have not entered anywhere profit center and cost center. Now if I'm ready to post this document, I entered all the details, I'm ready to post. I have not entered anywhere account assignments. Now let me go to document. I'd say simulate. Is debit and credit is okay? Is it matching or any difference between debit and credits? Is it okay now? Debit and credit wise, it is matching.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I go with general ledger simulation, I supposed to see some errors. Which kind of errors I'm expecting here? The basic thing. Generally, account assignment supposed to come an error. But for my surprise, I see profit center is already there. Who entered here? I didn't enter. If I go to expert mode also, I don't see any error messages. Everything is fine. But I was expecting an error. But why it is not giving me an error? Any idea?
Because at the time of posting debit or credit, we entered all the sufficient booking
Yes,
information, right?
exactly. So that is what we need to understand. Now, while booking original invoice, this 2,400 original invoice when I entered this to my rent account. Based on that, it has inherited to Ramesh account. But am I using a rent account at this moment anywhere in this journal entry?
No.
If you look into, I am using cash and the AP Recon account. Now, but still I'm not using this account, rent account, but I'm making a payment towards the rent document number. But how system is again bringing? Don't get confused. Though I'm saying a rent account here, the original entry rent account, when I entered that as my baseline, the profit center, the same profit center has been inherited to Ramesh account here. In an entry view, you don't see in a Ramesh account. But if you go to GL view in Ramesh account, you can see this profit center. That is what we had seen earlier. But Ramesh account is one of my vendor account. This vendor account is tagged to my AP Recon account. That is what we had seen. From
Yes.
vendor master data, we had already updated this reconciliation account. So it is a posting in a GL view to this account with the same profit center. This is the profit center which has taken, if you see this, I have made a formula here. It is coming from rent account here automatically. Now the Ramesh account already has profit center. Now I'm not saying system anywhere manually use this profit center. It is by default picking this profit center. Now system is automatically picking in Ramesh account from here. From where it is picking? It is picking from your active document splitting characteristics, whatever you have done. Now let me change this color to yellow so that you can see the link from where it is moving. Does that make sense now? Ramesh account is picking by default this profit center by system itself. I'm not entering. Now based on this, now this line is going to become baseline. My Ramesh account is going to become baseline. Earlier Ramesh account was an offsetting line because I didn't enter for Ramesh account. But this time also I didn't enter anywhere. But system is filling on my behalf because the original invoice contains this profit center. Whenever you make a payment, it will go from this profit center only. Fine. Now this cash account is going to be your offset line. Offsetting will take from baseline. Okay, this is your offsetting. In a passive document splitting, what happens without your intervention, system will automatically determine both baseline and offsetting line account assignments. This is your passive document splitting. If you can explain with this example, don't talk simply in our interviews. Active document splitting means whenever they talk about document splitting, there are three types of document splittings. One is active splitting, passive splitting, zero balance. And if you are not able to explain with an example like this, nobody will believe that you have that good understanding about the subject. They can clearly tell you, you read that somewhere in online or you got trained from someone and you don't have practical understanding. Show that you have a practical understanding. Whether you worked or not, that's a secondary thing, but you know what is active document splitting, how system is bringing these account assignments. The most important thing for you to understand what is baseline means, what is offsetting line means, how system will automatically bring offsetting line item account assignments. That is in active document splitting. In a passive document splitting, without our intervention, both are filled by system. How? For me, that is a passive document splitting to understand. If I go here in expert mode, I'll show you. Now, what is the baseline and offsetting line, whatever I showed here. I didn't copy from here, but I already know that this is the baseline. Now, if I go here, you see inheritance via clearing, and first one is your baseline, base rows. If I go here, first line is a baseline. What is a baseline here? Which account it is getting hit? It is hitting from your GL account, so and so. One all zeros. From this account, it is taking inheritance here to this account. The second line is inheritance. It is taking the profit centers automatically. This is the concept that we need to understand. In interview also, you should be able to explain with example. You take one example, similar thing, or you can quote the same example also. Let's say we are creating a liability initially to the vendor, either for any expense. It can be a rent or it can be purchases. Any form, we are creating a liability. At that time, we have to mandatorily enter account assignments for a baseline. That is my expenses accounts. From there, system will automatically bring offsetting line item account assignment. Same as baseline. That is called the active document splitting. At the time of making a payment, system will automatically bring baseline and offsetting account assignments based on active documents will take whatever was already happened. In that, we already have this vendor account determined, this profit center already there. So system will now automatically take in both. That is what I need to in a position to explain. This is your passive document splitting. Now I have not yet posted. The simulation is perfect. Let me go back and post it. Now automatically created line items will be deleted. Fine. So now let me say post. Though you don't see here, I think debit and credit is okay. I think debit line item is deleted, which is automatically created. Now what I'll do is, so let's say process open items one more time or choose open items. Anything is okay. Choose open items. In this is my account. And here, let's proceed with this. Here, one more time, what I'll do, this 2400, I need to make sure it is selected and say post. By default, it will post. Now 15 series document has posted. Now we know from where 15 series is coming. This is a part of my payments. That is what I understood earlier. Now payments is also I'm able to post. Now if I see this vendor account balance, first thing, let me go back here. This is my vendor account balance. I made it 2400. If I refresh, what should be the vendor remaining balance? Earlier I had 9,02,400.
Now our balance will be a 9 lakhs.
9 lakhs. It has to reduce by 9 lakhs. For my surprise, for example, if it become 9,04,800, what could have been happened?
So 4,800 will be entered one more entry.
One more entry, or by mistake, instead of making a debit entry, I might have made a credit entry. That's something that we need to understand. Either double entry or it could have with my opposite entry by mistake might have entered by another user. Or simultaneously, two users might have processed. One person might process manually, other person might have processed automatic entries. Or some batch job has posted. This is something we need to understand. Let me refresh. But nothing will happen. But let's see. You can see the total remaining balance in a red color, which is a open is a 9 lakhs. You can see something in a green, which is a cleared. So 2400 is cleared. You can see the payment clearing here for this invoice. The invoice is KR document, this KR, and payment is a KZ. This is what you need to understand. Okay. Is this clear how to make a payment to the vendor? How to understand document splitting characteristics?
Yes, sir.
Right? This is how we need to understand document splitting. Now, the most important thing, we need to understand one more. This transactions, whatever you see in a red color here, is called open items. And these are called your, in a green color is called a cleared items. Now, let's say that. Now, in this case, whenever I use F-53, by default, it is clearing. By default, it is clearing as well. But what if there is another transaction code that I use, just like F-43, and I can enter opposite. Instead of an invoice, I can also make a cash payment there as well. That can also happen, but that will not automatically clear. I'll quickly create one more invoice for another amount. I'll show you that. Let's say that, let me go with, do I have another screen here? Yes, I have this. So let me directly go with this F-43. This is what we used earlier. In F-43, this is a TDS job. I'll go with FB60. FB60 is a more convenient if you go with this. You can use anything, but both are same. This is an invoice. Let's say my supplier is 14,300. That is for Ramesh again. So invoice date, let's say I'll go back with little backdated, maybe 1st of July. I purchased something on 1st of July. Posting this invoice happened on 2nd of July. Just to differentiate the total transaction that we have in the screen here with the document dates, I'm just making a different dates. That's it. Maybe let me say this time as 1,000 rupees, or I'll simply make it as 3,100 rupees. I don't want to go with always rounding numbers. I'll go with a different numbers so that you can easily see the difference between the numbers here. If you always put 1 lakh, 10,000, something like that, looks everything similar, just to avoid that confusion. Let's say here, by default, system will consider here this as, let's say, credit, the vendor account credit, as it is an invoice. But what if I want to post opposite side? Let's say here, if I make it as a credit, let's say I'll make it as a, sorry, this is an invoice that I'm posting. Sorry, very sorry. Let's say, let me continue with this posting. So this 3,100, let's say INV 003, third invoice I'm posting it. So let's say advertisement expenses to this vendor. Okay. So let me take this different account, advertisement or a different, whatever I have. Advertisement expense I created, go with advertisement. So this is 3,100 rupees. And the post date, that is okay. Here, account assignment is mandate while I'm entering any invoice or anything. This is a part of your active document splitting again. Active you are doing for the first time. So far I have not yet filled. I'm trying to post it. You will get that error. I'm just showing you again and again to make you this concept very much clear. Okay, so I'm entering the profit center as it is a mandatory. Okay, it is not releasing. Okay, let me open this message and come back. It is still not allowing me to enter. So what I'll do, I have to restart. Anyway, we understood this. I have to enter profit center. Without that, system will not allow. Let me restart quickly. FB60, supplier number and invoice date and my posting date. My invoice reference INV 003 and amount is 3,100. Here again, invoice advertisement expense. GL account is this and amount is 3,100. Profit center straight away, let me enter so that you don't need to again come back. Okay, this time this is fine. All this is okay. I'm ready to post. I have posted one more invoice to my vendor. Another document with 19 series, which is my invoice. You can see KR document already posted 19 all zeros 1, the last document. Now this time it posted the next document 02. Let me refresh and see. Is it a open or a cleared item? Currently 19002 for a 3,100. It's a open item. Now what happens? I'll make a payment through different ways. Let's say F-53. When I go to F-53, what do you see here? Post outgoing payments here, right? Let's say last time, which one we used? F-53 only, right? Sorry. Yes. So this time I don't want to go with F-53. Let me go with F-43 only. Here it is saying still vendor invoice. While entering, somebody in our team, what they did, they misunderstood how to make a payment. They thought that they can still do this. Let's say that when they did, maybe on a 1st of July, the invoice was posted. The document date is on a 1st of July. On a 15th, my another employee, what they did, they made a payment. They are saying it as a payment. Okay. Invoice reference, say, let me INV 003. This is the reference number that they are using. For this INV 003, they are making a payment. At this moment, 31 is your credit line item. Now, journal entry, if I want to see that, I wanted to credit what? Cash. So I'll go with a cash. Vendor account, I will debit. If you look into this journal entry, let me show you this. You just need to have an opposite entry, right? So what you will see, Ramesh account is currently credited here. So now you need to debit while making a payment, right? What I'll do, it is again 31 posting key it is picking. For a 31, it is giving me an option to pick only vendor account here. Again, it is going to credit by mistake. It is again taking vendor account. I'm not able to do that. They misunderstood how to make a payment here. Let's say account 14300 they entered and they thought they wanted to enter, let's say minus 3,100. Let's see whether negative postings allowed or not here. If it is not enabled, then it won't allow payments. Specify positive values only. Negative postings are not enabled for this particular document type. Okay, so let's proceed. I'm assuming, or let me go with F-02, otherwise it will be more easy for us to understand. Let's say /n F-02. I don't know whether F-02 will allow or not, but let me try to complete this first. Okay. So here the 40 is not the correct thing that I wanted to do it because expenses is already debited. Now I wanted to credit with my cash, I'm not able to do that. If I use a one more time credit, it is 31 is already credit, which is not a right way. So now let me straight away go with F-02. I just wanted to show you this scenario. So let's say 15th 07/2025, and your reference is INV 003 and the payments. Okay. So here 40, what I'm trying to do, you need to, let's say, I doubt I can pick vendor account here. It won't allow to pick the vendor account here. Okay. I think let's rule out that example for now. Maybe I'll bring a perfect example for you to show. Anyway, I just wanted to show the cleared versus uncleared items. That's not my thought, but I'm not able to bring that at this moment. I'll show you with a different example. With a 3,100, even after making a payment in a different manner, it will not go into a cleared item. It will still sit in an open item. In that case, what we need to do, we need to manually clear that. How to clear manually, I'll show you in a next class separately. But for now, there are two things what we need to understand. There might be some transactions which are still sitting under open item, though it has been already paid. Okay, in that case, how to handle. So that's a separate thing that we will see. Now, so far, let's say AP reconciliation account, and if I go and see, let me go with this another transaction here, right? Let's say GL account balance, FBL 3N. When I go to FBL 3N, which is your GL account balances, let's say, let me run for all. At this moment, you can see cash account, so many transactions. These are posted. If I see this, your accounts payable, where is your accounts payable? AP Recon account. Okay, this is rent account. AP Recon account. Now I see my AP Recon account is 200,399. Let me go back. 200,399. AP Recon account. Let me execute with all items and show you this. You see this, there are certain items has been cleared, certain items are open. But for other GL accounts, if I go and see, you don't see this option as a open and clear. I'll show you that one more time. Or here only, let me execute with all accounts one more time. Let me show you this. Can you observe this? Cash account for a Tata Steel. Is it showing as a open and cleared item, or is it a directly posted? For a cash account, is it showing a two options like a open and cleared, like a circle and a square symbol under status, or is it simply green tick mark? It's a simply green tick mark,
Green tick
which means a
mark.
posted, right?
Yes,
It is
it's
saying as a
posted.
posted. We don't have anything like open and clear. When I go down, same thing for a bank account. Same thing when I go with a purchases account, and same thing for capital account as well. But when I go with a AP reconciliation account, the next account here, you have completely a different format here. But here, you don't have any tick marks here. For a green or a red, I don't see that. What is the reason why I don't see this? Why this account has posted? This is also kind of a posted, but it is saying as a cleared. But this is saying as a open. But I don't see anything as a open for other accounts. Why? Because we have enabled open item management for this account. I'll show you now. Go to FS00. This is the concept that we need to understand. So if I go to FS00, this particular account, AP Recon account, before that, go to capital account. Your capital account is here. And this account is 2 all zeros. You see this, if I go to create bank interest, here in open item, in a control data tab, do you see this open item management option here? Is it enabled tick or no tick here for open item
No
management
tick.
for a cap? No tick,
Grayed
which
out.
means it is not a open item management. Maybe grayed out is okay. So because it is not in edit mode. Now, if I want to switch to open item management, now are there any transactions posted in a capital account here already? Any journal entries posted? It has a balance or not? The capital account. This is my
Yes.
capital account. My capital account balance is 10,025,000. Okay, which means 1 crore. Okay, this is in a million format, 10 million or 1 crore. It is already posted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entries has been already posted, at least. Okay. After posting certain entries, let's say you are currently in a capital account. So this is your capital account. Maybe let me show you this way, right? This is your capital account balance. Okay. So where you can see this balance for this account in this company code. Okay. So now when I come back to FS00, open item management was not enabled earlier. By mistake, I missed it. I wanted to maintain this as open item management for this particular one, for a capital account. But I didn't do that. That was the business requirement, but we missed to do that initially. Now I realized your business has sent an email, so or they raised a ticket. So this account supposed to be open item management account. Okay, you realized I know how to edit. So you went to FS00, you selected account and you click on edit symbol, edit or a change. Okay, currently, let's say for example, so let me go back. Let me restart this. As I have already in edit mode, you don't see that. Let's say as soon as I come here, the capital account and select your capital account, I'm not able to edit here, right? So because it is in a display only mode. Now I'll make this to change mode. Now it is in a change mode. I can edit any account. Now you are trying to enable this open item management and try to save it. Observe this very carefully, what happens and tell me. Is it allowing me to proceed?
No.
No.
This is the common error, you get it. Whenever you wanted to enable this open item management after posting any entries into the account. Okay, this account is not allowing me. I'll show you another account. Let me go to different group. Let's say marketing expenses. Okay, it is not allowing. Okay, let me go with this one more time. Let's say no, because I don't want to save this. This account, for example, if I go with this particular account, I'll try to see if there are any transactions first of all. Okay, let's see this. Are there any transactions posted in this account? 400201.
No, sir.
Marketing expenses, not yet. This is also not enabled as open item management. They sent a list. The below listed 4 GL accounts has to be open item management accounts. In that, capital account is there, equity share capital is there, advertisement expense, and marketing expense. These 4 are there. I am trying to convert or enable open item management for a capital account. I'm not able to do it. It is giving me an error. So I leave that for a while and I'm trying with a marketing expense account now. Now let's see this, what happens for our marketing expenses account. Okay, I'm enabling this and saving it. Observe whether it will complete or not. Okay, there is a one more error. What you see, it is not allowing you to do it. Though there are no transactions in this 400201, it is not allowing. If you read the message very carefully, you will understand the message. What is it saying?
Since we don't have any open items for that account, it's not allowing us to do it.
Generally, it should allow. If there are no open items, it should allow. But it is not allowing. The reason also mentioned here. If you read this, it will tell you.
Only allowed for balance sheet accounts.
Which means if you want to maintain an open item management, that account is supposed to be a balance sheet account. Now, marketing expense, generally, expenses is a part of balance sheet or a profit and loss. It's a profit and loss account. Now, open item management, I'm removing it. I'm not enabling. I'll go to type description and check whether it is currently balance sheet or not. Currently, is it a balance sheet? It is a non-operating, primary, and secondary. All 3 are profit and loss account. Only cash and balance sheet is a part of your balance sheet accounts. Okay. Currently, it is created under profit and loss account, which is not allowed. These are the 2 scenarios which you need to remember. Whenever you are trying to switch any GL account from balance sheet category and that do not have any entries already posted, which will allow you to switch between open item management. disable and enable, you can do it. Okay. And
Mm.
if the account is from profit and loss account and you try to switch, it will not allow with the reason of this one. Okay, no changes are made. Now let's say once again, I'll go to change mode, try to enable this and save, you get this error. If you are trying to change account from enabling, whenever you want to enable profit and loss account related accounts as an open item management, system will not allow you. While creating your GL accounts also, you choose this option only for a balance sheet accounts. Okay, for a profit and loss accounts, it will not allow you. That is the another error. Now, anyway, now the other account, whatever I have, AP reconciliation account. AP reconciliation account is my balance sheet account only. That is very much clear. Now let me go to AP Recon account. Where is my AP Recon account? AP. If you see this AP Recon account, I don't want to save previous one. 2003999 AP reconciliation account. Currently, it is not enabled as open item management. Before that, let me check whether it is a balance sheet item or a profit and loss item. Because earlier I had seen an error message, profit and loss accounts are not allowed. If I go with this type description, is it a balance sheet account or a profit and loss account?
Balance sheet account.
Balance sheet account. Will it allow or not for us now as part of this first rule? If it is a GL account that is a balance sheet, it should allow. Okay, for my surprise, I am trying to enable and see this. It is still scolding us. Now read this.
Open item management is not defined for reconciliation account. You cannot change open items management for this account.
Okay, so it is still throwing an error. Earlier, my understanding was balance sheet items can be open item managements, but it is still not allowing it. Right? But there is another reason why it is not allowing. It is saying a question mark at which line? There are 3 lines of message here. Which line it is throwing, giving a question mark?
Your account changed the open item management at this point.
At this point, it is looking at this moment, that moment you are trying, it is not allowed. Means there is a certain specific point of time you could have done that. What is that specific point of time? Maybe before posting any items to your reconciliation account or this GL account for that matter. So if I go with AP reconciliation account here, there are certain transactions posted. They were posted, the oldest one as on 1st of July. First transaction as on 1st July. If you want to try changing that before 1st July, it would have allowed you. Now it won't allow because from 1st July, you posted transactions. And moreover, there are open items also in this account. Whenever you try to switch this, it is not the perfect consistency. Whenever you try this, system will lead to inconsistencies in your overall switch between reporting as well. You are trying to manipulate your accounts by changing this. There is no control if you do this. That is another reason why you want. But still, this was a consultant mistake or accountant mistake who created this GL account. GL account creation is a master data, which is not a configuration. This GL account creation access has been given to your business users. While that business user creating by mistake, they have not enabled it. They missed to enable this option. It is a small mistake for them. Somehow it got missed from their view while creating it. Now that employee is no longer in this organization. It was created 6 months ago. That employee is left now. Now, whom should I blame? Right? Now, is there a way that I can still correct it? This is one of our most important question in interviews also. This is the same scenario they might ask you, or they might ask you, how do you enable or disable open item management? Can you explain with one scenario or example? Okay. Now take this exactly the same scenario or example, or you can change the account name if you want, or you can use the same name, still it is okay. Now assume that this is a perfect example where we see your business users raised a ticket in their project, they see this problem. My account is showing as non-open item management at this moment. I wanted to make it as open item management. AP Recon account, earlier it was not enabled or it was enabled. Now I wanted to disable it. How do I do it? For that, what you need to understand is, first thing, let's say I'll go with other accounts, any other account I see here. You don't have, okay. Now let's say there are certain items open, I cleared, certain items are open. Now what I'll do is, I wanted to switch this to, let's say, let me restart this, press 00. Okay, so let me go to AP again, AP recon account. If I go with the control data, currently it is not enabled as an open item management. Going forward, I want this to be maintained as an open item management. How am I going to enable it? At this moment, if I try this, let's say, select this and save, it is not allowing. This is the error. Your business user will give this the same screenshot and raise a ticket. Now, as a consultant, what you need to do is, now first thing you need to understand, now I wanted to switch this. This switch is going to happen forever. Now you need to understand, when I change this to open item management, these items are currently open or cleared. The red color items.
Open. Once we
Open.
clear this line item, then only we can able to view
Right.
the.
See this, these items are still in open or clear, the green items. This account
Cleared.
contains both cleared items and open items. Whenever I switch this to open item management, what happens in future, whatever transactions that you are going to post, by default, that will show as an open item. Those are subject for a clearance. You need to clear them again, either with automatic payments or a manual payment program. You need to clear them. Only then this account will become zero. Otherwise, currently it has 9,03,100 as a open items. Now, there are multiple options how you will bring it. First thing, you need to clear all this. Clearing is nothing but you need to make a payment to this. Just because of the small mistake by my accountant, can I make this 9 lakh rupees payment right away to my vendor? Just because I wanted to switch this settings? Is this a
If it
wise
is
thing?
due for payment, we
Let's
can
say
able
it is
to.
not yet due, which is just 30th July, 29th July, which I purchased. It has 45 days payment term. Assume that I still have a 40 days time to make a payment. Is it unnecessary loss for a business which they are making early payment? On a 10 lakh rupees, they might think that it's a huge loss of interest for them. They could have enjoyed this credit period of 45 days. But I don't want to do that. That is not a wise thing, right? You don't want to clear that. Generally, you need to clear. But if I want to clear, I need to arrange a payment. But technically, we'll do this. I don't want to physically make a payment. Technically, we'll change these items from open item to cleared items, or whatever it has been cleared. This will also come and sit as an open item now if I do this. Okay, that's what we need to understand other side. So this is a wrong impact. When I bring this item again as an open item, whatever I made a payment, again you need to pay one more time for this 2,400 if you bring this as an open item. These are the other challenges which will happen whenever there are already transactions posted in this account and something has been cleared also. This is the perfect example for you to see when this account contains both open item and cleared item. Now let us quickly try this. Whenever you face this kind of situation, how am I going to handle this? Now let's say that there is something called transaction. At this moment, I need to come out from this FS00 screen. Don't sit in a change mode. Let's come back with a display mode or come out of the screen completely. Okay, let's say /n completely. I will not be in a edit mode of that GL accounts. Okay, I am back. Now go to something called SA38. The transaction code called SA38. If you go to SA38, it says ABAP program execution. There is something called a program. So this program is called switch open items, enable or disable. This both the options you can try this using the program called FINS underscore switch underscore to underscore open underscore item. So I'll just type it now. This is the one, what I'm talking about. This is the program. You keep this program handy. So in interview, if you are able to recollect this name, which is a well and good. Otherwise, you can tell them there is a specific program. At this moment, I couldn't recollect the program name, but yes. So maybe if you are able to remember this, switch to open items, at least, which will help you. Financial transactions, FINS is a financial transactions, switch to open item. That's what you need to tell them. Okay. This open items, you wanted to switch it. Okay. Now execute. Enter this program name as it is without any additional spaces, underscores as it is. Don't enter hyphens here and execute. When you execute, you have an option here to make it activate open item management of particular GL account or deactivate it. Currently, our GL account, this AP Recon account, was it activated for open item management or not in FS00? If you remember, let me take that screen one more time quickly. If I go here, I don't want to get into change mode. I'll be in a display only mode. Go to control data. It is not yet enabled open item management, which means currently in disabled state. Okay. Now it is deactivation mode. I wanted to activate now. So select this activate. If it is already activated and you wanted to deactivate, then choose this option. Now I want to activate. So I'll go with this. Okay, activate GL account and enter the GL account that you wanted to activate open item management. Now let's say that enter your AP reconciliation account 2003999. Okay, now company code you need to enter 9400. Otherwise, what happens? The same GL account can be repeated in multiple company codes also. If you go and check that in your table level, you can see that it can be multiple places. I'll show you quickly. Don't do this mistake. You need to enter combination with company code. Let's say SKA1. If I go with, sorry, I will go with SKB1. If I go with SKB1, which is a GL account master at company code level, let's say that this account I'll enter here without company code. Okay. So let's say that I won't enter company code. I'll just enter 200399 just to see whether this GL account is existing in other company codes. This is the table level information you need to get slowly familiar with. If I execute at this moment, I can see in only one company code. If it is already there in other company code also, that is the mistake we are going to do if you don't enter company code. If you enter, it will restrict to your company code. Fine. Now you just need to choose only 4 options in this screen. 1, enter GL account, company code, and activate open item management. 3 options, and 4th one, test run. Always go in a test run wherever test run option is available. First time you go with a test run and say execute. Now you will see this. If it is okay for us to do it or not, it will tell you. Account number is a reconciliation account in company code so and so. And company code 9400 is not considered for activation. Any reconciliation accounts, by default, they will be maintained as open item management. System will not allow you to switch them. Now, so that is the error message it is saying. Whenever you are using any reconciliation accounts, by default in here, if you go with FS00, here we made it as a reconciliation account, recon account for vendors. We have already chosen. Whenever you choose reconciliation account, GL account as a recon account, then by default, this open item management is activated in system. That is an inbuilt functionality. Those things we will not touch it. Now come back with another GL account. Let's say this account is currently showing as everything as a posted. This is not enabled as any open item. Or maybe let me go with the purchases account. Let me go with this purchases account of what? 100202. 100202 currently is not activated as open item management. If I go with the purchases, where is this purchases? Let me search with this. I don't know where exactly. 100202. You can see that here. Purchases account. It is also not enabled as open item management. Now I wanted to activate for a purchases account. I'm going to switch this to purchases account here. Let me go back. Don't touch the reconciliation accounts at this moment. So that's the reason I'm switching back to different account. 100202, my purchases account. So I wanted to activate open item management. So far it is not yet activated. So I'm just trying to convert this and observe this, what happens, these items. This is before open item management. Okay. So if you want, consider this as a screenshot and observe this carefully. What are the things that you can observe? The status will get changed particularly for this account. Okay. This is before and after. I'll just put it here for your reference. Okay. So let me put here. This is before open item management activation. Okay. After, you will see the difference. This I'll directly show you that. Now let's say this is the account that I wanted to try. Enter account number, company code, test run, activate open item management, execute. Now it should not give any error. Now it is fine. It is saying check is fine. Bookers is a company code. SAP KNR is a GL account number. Company code and GL account number both checked and test run. Consequently, currently no activation happened. There is no activation. That is, it is confirmed. It is a green mark. Everything is green. No error messages. So I'm good. Whenever you see that it is a good, remove the test run and execute it. Now you observe this carefully here in FS00. What happens? Okay, currently I'm in a display only mode. So let me execute this. Correction mode only possible in background due to long runtime. Okay, continue. It is not allowing us to run in a foreground because this kind of execution will take a long time because there are a lot of items. There might be a lot of items in a GL account where I need to change the symbols. The status has to convert into open items for all of them. Now the risk, what is going to happen if these are cleared items, all are going to sit in your open items. Now that is another thing that you need to remember. You need to communicate that to the business also. If you are converting this as an open item management, it will have impact as retrospective. What is retrospective? For all past data transactions also it is going to impact. That is retrospective. If it is a prospective, there is a two differences. One is a prospective impact, retrospective impact. Retrospective is nothing but for all the past data transactions also it is going to be applicable. If it is prospective, future transactions, whatever you are going to post after this activation, it is going to impact. By default, this open item management activation and deactivation is retrospective impact. Just remember this. In your interview, they might also ask you what kind of impact it is. When they ask what kind of impact, you might confuse what are they expecting. Tell them which is a retrospective impact, which will change for all already posted transactions also. Okay. Now let me execute this in background, which is not allowing F8 execution. So I'm going with a background execution. Go with a background execution. What should be my output device? Which is a default output device always, which is LP01. Without miss, you need to remember. Anywhere you see output device, enter LP01 for particularly background execution. Go to background execution. Whenever it asks for output device, it is LP01. Continue. It is asking, it is confirming formatting so on. So continue. Again, same thing. Whether you want to do immediately or whether you want to do it later, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, that you can set that. I want immediate. Fine. Say check and save. That's it. It is executed in a background. If you wanted to check, you can go to your SM37 and confirm. Let's say /o SM37 quickly. Nothing to do much. It should have been completed already by default. Include scheduled as well and execute. Now you can see one more FINSC switch to open items program here. What is the status here? We ran at 10:07:58 seconds. It is already complete. It is already finished, which means our job is completed. Okay. Now if I go to FS00 here, it is not yet tick mark enabled for purchases account. So it will take impact only when you refresh this screen. How do I refresh? Maybe you have a refresh button here. You can click on this refresh. If you click on this update, this account, purchases account, currently do not have open item management enabled. Now you will get the tick mark automatically. I'm not going to do that. System only will help me that. Now let's say that refresh. Update. Is that in inventory? Okay, purchases account. Now do you see this open item management for a purchases account enabled automatically, which we have not done? I mean, manually I didn't do it, but system only did this. How we achieved it? We ran some program here in SA38 that is called your program, this one.
Program execution.
Right, this FINS switch to open items. This program executed. Because of this, system only automatically updated this one. This is what we need to quote in your interviews also. The same thing you need to remember in your project. If you face this problem, this is how you are going to fix it. Okay. Now let's refresh this GL account balance. What am I expecting? The next thing, this purchases account has to turn all this into red symbols, which is the open items. Currently it is in a green tick marks. Now see the magic, list and refresh. Purchases account number 100202. Do I see this purchases account now? After,
Yes.
this is before and after impact.
Yes.
This is what I want you to get familiar with after running program. Okay. This is what you need to remember. That is what you can see the difference here, before and after. Can you see the same account has a two different symbols?
Yes,
This
sir.
is how you are going to bring a GL account in case you miss to activate or deactivate initially during your account creation phase. Whether you created or a business user created, mistake is a mistake, but how are we going to correct it? This is the way. Does that give you some idea how to do this? In tomorrow class, maybe we'll clarify all your doubts, whatever you have it. From there on, I'll give you one solid assignment for you to understand how to do this, how to work on this activation and deactivation of a GL accounts. And along with all this to understand active document splitting, passive document splitting, zero balancing, we'll talk about this later whenever we talk about foreign currency revaluation. At this moment, keep this as a pending, but don't confuse at this moment. If you are able to understand these two, I'm very much happy. That's all you need to know now. Later, we can add more examples for this. Then this topic of document splitting is complete. Until then, remember this without any confusion. You should be able to talk with examples, these two, which is a more than enough. Then people will also appreciate, yeah, you have very sound knowledge. Okay, you go and test the same knowledge. The people who are saying that they've been working in industry for last 4 years, 5 years, those are working in a support project, testing projects, they will not be able to answer this question. They will also still have a confusion. They will not be able to bring a perfect example for this. Okay, so you are like competing with those people now. So make sure until here, whatever we discussed today, so you will be able to prepare your configuration and test all this and bring up to this point, whatever we discussed so far. Okay. So let me stop here and let me know if you have any specific questions to this or any other topics so far that we discussed.
I think nothing, sir. That's
Great. Okay. If no other questions, I think we can continue to meet tomorrow at the same time. Until then, keep practicing it, all these things that we discussed. Okay. We'll see you tomorrow all right. Bye-bye.
But can you please be in the line for a minute?
Yeah, sure.